Alrighty then, it looks like we are gonna go into soO versus Hurricane. Bel Air is in here. Mein Deutschen Bruder. That was me not even doing Duolingo today. Forgetting to do Duolingo today. That's how much I remember.
Here we go. We are here. It is us, CranKy Ducklings, as the English casters. We have Bel Air and Mapu casting in German. And we have Maddox and Into the Inu casting in Korean.
Nice little spread that we've got here today. And so you have a good spread. ZvP. And there we have it. We are going to be getting our semifinals underway right now. It is going to start on Everdream LE, ideally Edle, where in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the Red Zerg player coming out all the way from the land of South Korea. He is known to bless the reigns. Representing Afrika Freaks, we have soO, the man of the lair.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss, the currently teamless player. He is Hurricane.
And yeah, there's gonna be an interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. We talked a lot about soO ZvZ earlier on, but one thing that I guess he's not as something that's not as noteworthy, I should say, is soO's ZvP. I think in the past, anyway, it's typically been pretty one-sided. Either he wins pretty handedly or he loses pretty handedly. When I normally think of those like really, when I normally think of the really close games from soO, I think of as ZvT, right? And when I think of the matchup that he dominates in, it's ZvZ.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, especially when it comes to soO, I haven't seen too much of him. A lot of that comes down to the majority of the Korean StarCraft that I'm now catching is like these ESL Open Cups. And soO
just doesn't play them.
Yeah, he very rarely shows up. So again, it's kind of hard to judge where he is, right? Like we were kind of questioning, like, can he even take down DRG? And showing that he can, right? Like he is still pretty dominant in that matchup. Again, DRG showing that he's struggling in the ZvZ matchup as well, losing to both Rogue and soO in recent time. And yeah, we'll see how soO's ZvP is. As again, Hurricane, like he's still a very strong player. Like he's, you know, he does get overshadowed by some of the greats, like some of the top Protosses, but still, like, he is able to take maps, he is able to take series on a good day. We'll just have to see, is this one of them?
Yeah, I guess that's what we're about to find out.
As we do see Hurricane going for that Stargate opening.
Okay. And I gotta tell you, like, after casting the ANZ qualifiers, this is becoming a lot more common for me. Stargate opening in PvZ, as opposed to a Twilight opening.
Yeah, you know, you can go for one or the other. Obviously, the Twilight Council opening was really popular for quite a number of months, but, you know, it's nice to see a little bit more diversity here in the openers in this matchup. Now, the question is, mate, how many Oracles?
I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna go for the safe option. I'm just gonna say 2. It could just be 1, and then Hurricane goes into Phoenixes. It could be 3. But
I'm gonna say that Hurricane, he's feeling a little stats today. You know, stats he didn't sign up, he didn't play. He's gonna harness that. He's gonna go triple Oracle.
Is this his application to join Stats' organization?
To join Shield.
To join Shield.
We'll see. As so far, Adept shade in, kill 2 drones. They shade out. Nicely done.
Yeah, very nicely done. If you're able to keep the 2 Adepts alive, then any drone damage you get is gonna be in favor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's actually really impressive that he was able to keep both Adepts alive. Meanwhile, the first Oracle is moving out across the map. Second Oracle is on the way as well, currently in production. So far we have at least 2. We'll see if he gets another or if he opts to go for a kind of later Phoenix. The Oracle's going in. No spores.
Ooh. Very quick spore crawler being made there, saves that drone's life. soO unfortunately could not save the life of that other one. The Oracle is starting to get low and could actually go down as a Spore to Queen.
Oh god!
There's a Spore to Queen light! But the Oracle makes it out alive.
Ooh, wow.
And I think this is something that we didn't actually mention, but soO was very greedy with how he opened up. On a map like Everdream, he took a massive risk and got his third hatchery before 2 minutes, but now it's actually paying off for him very well.
Yeah, adding to that greed, he actually doesn't have a Spore in his natural. He was relying on his Queens for defense, and yeah, he was able to get away with it. The Oracle only got 1 drone kill before being forced away, and we do see that Hurricane only opted for 2 Oracles, not for 3. So yeah, opting to go for a more standard style. I say standard.
Standard-ish.
That's a lot of gateways.
That's a lot of gateways coming out. As well as only a single Forge at the moment. There we go. Charge is being researched right now from Hurricane.
Yep.
He is looking to do stats things.
Exactly. So this will be a charge lot timing that he's going to be going for. That's a lot of gateways. +1 on the Forge is also a big indicator of this as well. So yeah, Hurricane is looking to hit hard, hit strong, and without Banelings, this can be difficult to deal with.
Oh, it very much so can, and I think that just comes back to Hurricane scouting out soO with those Oracles, and identified that he didn't have a Baneling Nest and probably wasn't looking to get one. So he's going for a more chargelet heavy composition as opposed to the more standard Stalker Immortal that you normally see in a soul push. And what's interesting to me, Light, is that Hurricane is actually going for some variation of a soul trade. Normally when you see +1 in charge, it's usually going to be, you know, something like Charged Archon, right? Or a very quick, as you said, chargelet timing to try to cripple or kill your Zerg opponent.
And we'll see if that even comes into play, because soO, he stopped making drones a long time ago. He's making nothing but lings right now, flooding across the map. He has Roach Ravager, and he's already in the natural of Hurricane. soO, he stopped at 45 workers, and he doesn't even care what Hurricane is going for.
The sentries are stuck. They A-moved, and unfortunately aggroed the Overlord instead of the army. And right now, looking at Hurricane's army, it's just an Immortal, a Stalker, and a handful of sentries. And again, because Hurricane went for charge, the Stalker does not have Blink on it.
It does not have Blink. He does manage to keep the Immortal alive now, but so many sentries get piled down, and the Roach Ravager, they're going to be able to focus down the Immortal as well. Despite having a War Prism, he wasn't able to save it, and the Queens even marching across the map, able to deal with the Oracles.
So he's just had enough. He thought, no, I haven't had to deal with War Prism Micro before. I'm not dealing with it again. GG's called, and soO takes game number 1 in this best of 5 semifinals.
GG. And yeah, so like going into like towards the later stages of that game, I was about to point out that soO, it was really surprising to me, he actually hadn't gone for a scout. Like after seeing that initial Stargate opener, he didn't see anything. He didn't see the gateways, he didn't see the Twilight Council, he didn't see the Robo, he didn't see any of what was happening, and that was because soO didn't care. He had this plan. He was going for this essentially all in. He had droned up to 45, he had stopped drone production, he was making nothing but lings, and yeah, he just went for the kill.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where just having a really good build as your plan and executing that plan really well can just kind of dominate, can just kind of have you dominate in that game.
Yeah, like you see a couple of indicators here and there, and then you know, okay, like my opponent shouldn't have enough to hold against this.
Exactly. And we'll see if soO is going to be able to keep this up as... Ooh, what were you saying earlier, Light? That Golden Wall is a popular map for the Koreans?
Yeah. We're here again.
We are here again.
I love this. We talk about it how, like, oh, sometimes in a best of 3, it's game 3. Here we are in a best of 5. It's game 2.
Interesting. We still have at least 2 more games after this, and at most 4 more, so... Yeah, it's kind of interesting that we're seeing it this early in the series.
Yeah, again, the Koreans, they are not afraid of the craziness that does come with Golden Wall.
They embrace it. They love it.
Exactly.
They harness it, and they channel it. They were born, Salvador.
God damn it.
Alrighty then, and with that, we are going to be loading into game number 2 of this best of 5 semifinals on the Golden Wall. LE, of course, standing for Lions Eggs. Wait, no, I think that's fiction. I'm thinking of Griffins. Yeah, I'm thinking of Griffins. In the right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the right-hand corner of the map, we have the Red Zerg coming on all the way from the land of South Korea. The player who is known to bless the reins, representing a freak of freaks, the Roach King himself, we have soO. I'm still, what's it called? Trying to come up with a title for soO.
We'll get there. And spawning in at the bottom left-hand corner of Golden Wall LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. He is currently teamless. He is Hurricane.
And I am just on the edge of my seat right now, like, after that game number 1, I have to wonder what both of our players have planned for Golden Wall. This is usually where you see a standard opening, I would say, from most players. But once you get into the mid game, a lot of sort of tricks are being used. You know, whether you're mining the mineral wall in the middle of the map, you know, whether you're going south of the wall for your expansion, whether you decide to go for a golden base. Everything always starts normal on Golden Wall, but as time goes on, it just gets more and more insane.
Yeah, the madness unfolds here on Golden Wall as time progresses. Things they just stop making sense. And that's what I love about this map. There's just so much opportunity. You know, there's potential for like Swarm Host Nidus. There's potential for a fast muteless play because it's close by air. You can expand to the north, to the south. There's the gold base. There's just so much that can come into this. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what these two players have in store for us. As soO once again going for a relatively fast third base. Hurricane, once again, going for that Stargate.
Yeah, and we talk about that quick air rush distance. If soO isn't prepared for this, he's gone greedy-ish with a quick third, right? But we're on Golden Wall. If soO really wanted to be greedy, he would have gone for the golden base. So I have to think that this hatchery is just going to be for production. And if that's the case, are we just going to see another quick Roach game?
I mean, we could on Golden Wall. We could. The rush distance by ground is quite small as well. Kind of like Everdream. So yeah, it's definitely an option to say least. But at the same time, it is also a little bit easier to hold, especially if Hurricane takes the southern base as his third. So yeah, we shall see how this transpires. Already, Hurricane is going for a Phoenix first.
All right. Well, we are on Golden Wall, and Hurricane has mined out those minerals south of the wall, so yeah, he really wants to make sure that soO doesn't know that he's expanding that way. He really wants to make sure that soO doesn't make an opening for himself.
Yeah, definitely. So right now the priority for Hurricane was to deny the scouting, deny the Overlord vision of soO, and then getting into that Oracle. Of course, this does mean that soO, he is aware of the Stargate opener. He should be throwing down some spores. He should be getting prepared for the Oracle.
He should be. Alright,
should be. There's one. Once again, he's opting not to get one at the natural, and not one quite yet at the third. So there is, okay, there we go. At the third there is. So, you know, there is an opportunity for Hurricane to find some drone damage. It's just going to be difficult to do.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult depending on what he goes for. Right now, Hurricane, he's moving into the depths of the north, and as you said, on this third base, it's pretty undefended. Ooh. Only one queen is there, but to be fair, there's also not that many drones, so, you know, risk reward.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, a lot of drones could go down, but luckily there's not too many there, so we'll see as the Adepts are starting to, you know, chip away at them. 3 already going down.
Oh, 4 actually going down because this Oracle that does actually come in. The Adept does commit to the Shade, and that actually distracts the Queens quite a bit. Oracle trying to go once again to the third base, but the Spore is going to be enough to chase away this badly injured Oracle. Hurricane taking 0 risks, but yeah, 5 drones are down, and only 2 Adepts have gone down. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad a trade at all. You know, a little bit of lost mining time as well. Decent damage. Meanwhile, soO, he does go across the map trying to utilize these lanes in some way, but Hurricane, he is prepared. He is ready at his natural. And, oh, okay, so soO, once again, going for that Roach Warren.
Yeah, and this time I'm thinking Hurricane,
he's doing the same
gonna be a little bit, yeah, he's gonna be a little bit better prepared for this, and he's gonna be a lot better defended as he did go for the safer option of expanding south of the wall. He's even getting a gate there just in case, or a wall there just in case.
Exactly. I will say that these 3 corner bases for Hurricane, they're so much easier to defend than the 3 bases on Everdream. So even though he's going for the same opener, like because of the map, it is different. And again, soO, he realizes this and he's getting a 4th base.
Yeah, I'm just liking how reactive soO is being to this, how much he really understands what he can get away with. Opting to go for Roach or Hydra. Alrighty then. I guess eventually we'll get Lurkers out, but yeah, I've not seen Roach Hydra or even Roach Ravager Hydra in ZvC in quite some time, like.
Yeah, soO opting to go for this older style of composition, but again, because of over time, the lurkers have been buffed. They've got new upgrades. Like ideally, your end game composition is to get out those lurkers and those vipers. So we could end up seeing that here if the game gets goes that long. We'll see. As again, so far Hurricane, like these 3 bases are pretty well defended. We'll see if he tries to go for a 4th, and maybe that's an opportunity for soO to counterattack. Meanwhile, though, Hurricane, he's actually starting to get some AoE. He is working on that robotics bay.
Yeah, whether it'll be Colossus or Disruptors, we're gonna have to see. Meanwhile, we do have a Warp Prism floating around in the middle of the map, and yeah, soO should be aware of this. He did spot something with his Overseer, but yeah, I don't think he has quite enough to defend just yet.
Oh, yeah, and we do see that Extended Thermal Lance is on the way, so Colossus is the AoE of choice here for Hurricane. Pretty interesting, to say the least. Again, like, especially against Roaches, I do think Disruptors are more ideal, but he did scout all of the Hydras, so Colossus will do quite well against them.
Yeah, especially the Thermal Lance, you can definitely siege down these Hydras from a distance, and I mean, the Roaches, they also have a really short range, so yeah, depending on what kind of a buffer Hurricane gets for those Colossus, it can definitely work out really well for him, but I'm with you there. I think that the Disruptors are probably the more effective option. Colossus, though, not a bad one either, especially when you've got Lurkers on the way.
Yeah, exactly, and we do see it, right? Like, Hurricane, he's been relatively passive, so soO, he's gotten up to 4 bases, he's working on his Lurker Den, he's working on Hive, he's going to be eventually getting Lurkers, getting Vipers, getting his ideal endgame composition. Meanwhile, Hurricane, he's just expanding to the south of the wall, and here to the south, it's a little bit more awkward for soO to attack, especially because he doesn't have too much creep here, coming out of his main.
Yeah, the extent of his creep is one Overlord.
Yeah, it's not much.
But it's something.
It is something, and soO, like, again, this game is so passive. soO is just taking this opportunity to just take the upper half of the map now, like, he's taking a 5th base now, so yeah, we're just gonna kind of macro up, and eventually we'll see the 2 armies fight.
Yeah, this has really gone down to that more fundamental style of who can max out faster and with what units, but I think some action is going to be coming up for us real soon, as that is a Nidus network being made right now from soO. Is this the first time soO is making this? I've never seen soO go for the Nidus. He was the most adamant opponent of Nidus when it was crazy in 2019.
Yeah, we'll see. I love this coming out from soO. This is definitely a way to start applying aggression on the other side of the wall, but the Oracle spots it. He sees it. Yeah,
and with that, Hurricane, he's going to have a much easier time of getting prepared for this. It is still going to take quite some time for the Nidus to pop out, so Hurricane, he can get his defenses ready. A lot of static defense being thrown down here in the natural base. Meanwhile, a couple of Stalkers south of the wall, trying to find an opportunity, but in the end, deciding to go for defense instead.
Yeah, nicely done. The first Nidus does get denied in the main base of Hurricane, and now all the Hydras are here trying to push on in. A lot of static defense being thrown down, like in a panic for Hurricane, and it looks like he is able to push soO away.
Yeah, very nice force fields coming out from Hurricane there. Trapped a lot of the Hydralisks from soO.
Yeah, and he's pulled away because the Warp Prism did warping in a large number of Zealots here in the top right-hand corner of the map. So far, no drone kills, as there were a couple of Spines that did soak up some damage. And yeah, soO, he will be able to deal with this, but at the same time, there's a Nidus in the main base of Hurricane.
Yeah, there is coming up once again, but again, gonna be denied. Hurricane just so vigilant in this game.
Yeah, I love it. Hurricane is so on point with his defense, really turtling up, and this is getting kind of scary because, like Protoss, like there's a bit of a meme, right? The Protoss death ball. It's kind of a real thing, you know. He's got sentries, he's got Colossus, he's got disruptors. He's working on Storm as well, so he's gonna have all 3 different kinds of AOE, and even a fleet beacon. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at these 7 bases for Hurricane and all those choke points. It could work out pretty well for those Lurkers of soO, but I think the reality is it's going to work out a lot better for the Colossus, for the Disruptors, for the Storms of Hurricane. Another Knight is coming out, and this may just be all soO needs to really get Hurricane out of position.
It's going to finish. It should finish, but how much will come out?
A Lurker. But there's no detection here.
Oh, there's no detection, so even though it's a single Lurker, it will be able to deal quite a bit of damage. It kills a handful of probes, but it will stop all this mining time, and this could be, you know, something that starts like a little bit of momentum for soO, able to pull the attention apart for Hurricane. We'll see if he's able to take advantage of that, as Hurricane is actually being active out in the middle of the map with his main army.
Yeah, and I guess I was gonna say that the biggest impact from that, I would say, is that Hurricane was right outside of soO's golden base. Once that Lurker popped up, he just turned right on back, and actually, armies kind of missing one another. soO, he found this opening that Hurricane made south of the wall, and he's trying to go for it. We do see a recall here, and it is in the correct base, and that's a good Storm.
Ooh, just like that, the Storm pushes soO away. So again, the defense of Hurricane is just impenetrable at the moment. Really nice recall, but that does mean it was wasted. And once again, as these armies are colliding here, there is another Nidus in the main base.
Yeah, and this time there's just no army left over here for Hurricane. A Disruptor gets sniped.
Oh, Disruptor does get sniped, but almost all the Lurkers get taken out here in the center, so they do kind of trade blow for blow. But here we go, the Nidus finally popped up, and now soO has the foothold.
He very much so does. Not a lot of units out here, but as you said, this is just a foothold. This is just soO trying to get a position here. Another Disruptor taken out, and one Purification Nova is not going to be enough to take out a Lurker.
Yeah, again, just so much value pulling the army of Hurricane all the way to his main base. Again, giving soO a little bit of breathing room to remake the Lurkers that he lost, to remake his army. And yeah, he's working on his upgrades as well. +3 attack, just about to finish up. So soO looking, you know, quite in form here.
soO actually went to Hive Tech. I did. That was not what I was gonna expect.
Yeah, now he's, I think he has a couple of Vipers with his main army. There we go, they do have full energy.
There we go, and it's so important. This is a battle of spellcasters right now. Very nice Purification over there from Hurricane. Takes out a good number of Hydralisks as well as a couple of Roaches. soO's not falling for this Saluk.
It would have been insane if soO wasted some yoinks on the hallucinated Colossus. Like, that would have been like, oh my god!
That would have been such a good moment for Hurricane there, but unfortunately not going to be the case so much. And I love it. soO opening up that choke point. Does not want to be stormed to death, and actually getting an 8th base? Let's see, 2, 4,
again,
6, 7th base, 7th base.
7th base, he's basically taking the entire upper half of the map. Jesus Christ, and Hurricane, he's not stopping him.
4 bases.
Yeah, Hurricane,
he double pretty soon.
He will eventually need to expand and take another base. Ooh, actually getting rid of some supply there as well. And we do see soO again sieging on the natural of Hurricane, trying to, you know, deal some damage, trying to find some angle.
Now so many things to say about that.
Yeah, well, now he has Lurker range, so now he can actually siege on these cannons.
Yeah, and already taken a decent number of them out. Takes out the super battery. That was kind of a wasted cooldown for Hurricane. Nice force fields here, going to be preventing soO from advancing for the time being, but not by too much. But meanwhile, soO, he could just get flanked, but honestly, this is not a big army for soO. This is not a big commitment for him.
You say that, but losing all those Lurkers is quite expensive.
Oh.
That is a big loss there.
That it does. That it does. And nothing
Meanwhile,
I think. Yeah, actually, I thought it got denied, but no. It is here, and it is... These Zealots are just not going to do anything against Lurkers, are they?
Exactly, they just evaporate. And we were talking about that big loss of Lurkers, but again, soO, he has a massive bank. He just remakes them. He has so much money right now because of the 8 bases he is on. And now Hurricane is forced back. He's gonna be trading, and this is what soO wants. He can afford to trade, even if this all gets cleaned up. Like, soO has just a massive bank.
But I guess, yeah, he's got a massive bank. Just looking at the disparity kind of hurts in certain ways. But the question is, will he have the production for it? I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah, he has 7 bases, man. He has 7 hatcheries.
He does have 7 hatcheries out. And these Vipers, they're still on full energy.
Yeah, I will say that Hurricane, I do love that he is finally switching his tech. We saw him get the Fleet Beacon quite some time ago. Now we do have carriers on the way. We have more Stargates on the way. We have the Mothership as well. So because of this, soO, he has to switch up. He needs to throw down a Spire. He needs a couple of Corruptors as well. He needs to focus on his anti-air.
Well, he could throw down the Spire Light, but he does have the Infestation Pit.
You're right.
Shroud, and that's a good yoink. That's an amazing yoink. Such an isolated Mothership, and already, just like that, 400 minerals and 300 gas have gone down the drain for Hurricane. This gold base is really under threat, gonna be taken out.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, like that was such a big loss, and a base gets denied. Hurricane, he's stuck on 4 bases, and you were talking about the disparity before. He doesn't really have a bank. Right now, he's just being starved out.
Exactly, he doesn't have a bank whatsoever.
Yeah, and with no bank, like, you don't want to be going to carriers when you're struggling on minerals, right? Like, eventually, the interceptors are going to hurt you.
Exactly, especially not when there are this many Vipers out, and this many Hydralisks.
Exactly, and again, like, Hurricane. Oh my god! The carrier!
But the Colossus does keep it alive by a second yoink. I'm shook once again, Light. Also, he's going up to 9 bases.
He's double expanding. He's going up to 9 bases. He's got more than double the amount of bases of Hurricane. And again, Hurricane, like, he's struggling so much. He's trying again to take that Nexus, that gold base on the other side. But when he doesn't have control of the other half of the map, like, it's so easy for soO to just plant some lurkers and just deny that Nexus.
It really is, especially with the lurker range. He's actually getting Nexuses north and south of the gold.
Yeah, I do like this. He's going to try and position himself there, and nice, he's able to catch a bunch of lurkers, naked lurkers on their own, so he is able to push this force from soO away, and here we go. There it is. Spire is about to finish up for soO, already working on +1 flyer attack as well, so yeah, he's going to be transitioning into that more anti-air army.
Yeah, he does need a couple of Corruptors out, maybe some Brute Lords if he has the time to transition, and honestly, what I'm really liking from soO right now is he is continuing to use those Niduses to just pick away at Hurricane's attention. Like, looking at Hurricane's army, this is that basic late-game PvZ, isn't it? The Protoss army, very large, very immobile, though. And so the Zerg army just wants to go around it, wants to avoid that big engagement until he can starve Hurricane out.
Exactly, and there's a lot of storms being used here, but again, the Nidus gets denied. Earlier, a carrier was sniped as well, so soO, he just keeps getting more and more value. To be fair, though, the bank of soO is slowly depleting, so Hurricane, he is trading a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah, and soO just cannot afford to just lose all these Hydralisks like that. I think Hurricane has identified that if he can force a big army engagement, he will be able to trade so efficiently, which is why that was such a huge moment for Hurricane back there. But he's gonna need a couple more of those.
Exactly, like Hurricane, I feel like he still doesn't have the ideal army. He still has a lot of gateway units mixed in, not really as many carriers or potentially Tempest, and soO, he just doesn't stop. He just doesn't stop with the Niduses. It's right there. It's got the extended vision because it's in the observation mode in both corners. Here. Yeah, Hurricane, like, if he sent a carry there, maybe he could deal with it, but he's too busy here in the center of the map.
Yeah, and honestly, this is a scary army for Hurricane, or from Hurricane. It's scary for soO.
Exactly, like, this is an army to be respected, but he's only the Mothership!
And we'll be able to snipe that once again. Alright, the Stagger Fence, the Spore Crawlers, helping out a little bit, you know, just forcing Hurricane to make a couple more interceptors, lose a bit more money.
That was a little bit rough for soO. You want to fight with the Stag Defense, but they were caught out on their own. And again, Nice Storms does soften up quite a lot of Hydralisks, and now Hurricane is able to finally take a hatchery.
Very nicely done, especially the gold hatchery. That was such a high value pick, but yeah, I just feel like soO right now does not have the army he needs. He's got a lot of Corruptors, and Hurricane, you know, he had the Mothership, and he has a pretty scary amount of carriers. But once they're taken out, what is soO going to do? He does not have a Greater Spire. I don't believe.
Yeah,
he does not.
He does not. He's working on his upgrades for now, not working on that Broodlord quite yet. Despite that, though, Hurricane, he is committing to that Sky Toss. He has 4 carriers on the way. Meanwhile, soO actually incorporating some Ultras in his army as well.
I get a couple of Mio Micah vibes here, Light.
A little bit. I mean, to be fair, I love this classic skin. It actually looks really cool.
And this is why we love soO.
Exactly. And I was just about to say that there aren't too many mortals, so Ultralists aren't too bad in this situation. And nice harass once again by soO, able to get some lurkers here, and he's pushing into the natural.
He kind of is, and he's just evading detection right now. He's found the one place that cannons cannot find him.
Yeah, and the actual natural, by the way, as he has his
right.
Yep. He has his lurkers all in there. The Nexus goes down as well, and now he's on top of the production.
On top of all the production, once this gets taken out for Hurricane, he is going to be all in, and the question is, will he have the army that he needs to fight soO? I think he does,
he's going for a base trade,
but he cannot afford to trade inefficiently. He is going for that base trade.
Oh my god, and again, he's starting it so late. You can see on the minimap, all the bases right now of Hurricane are currently flashing red as soO is attacking every single one of them. And Hurricane, he's only killed 1 hatchery. There are, what, 8, 9 hatcheries for soO? Like, it's going to take so long for Hurricane to take them all out.
It really will. Good feedbacks, though. Don't believe he got any of the Vipers, though. So that could be an issue. And right now, soO, he's starting to feel a bit of pressure on him.
Oh, nice feedbacks. Finally does land on a couple of Vipers. Really nicely done there by Hurricane. But now the question is, does Hurricane have a couple of probes out on the map? Like, does he have something out? He does! He has so many probes with his main army.
Yeah, he does, actually. And again, this is an army from Hurricane that soO just cannot fight head on. We've got to the point where, you know, Hurricane, he's gonna starve out, but even then, he's still looking pretty impressive.
Oh my god, and all the carriers get taken out, all the Corruptors as well, but now... Yeah, the Colossus, the Corruptors, what are the Corruptors gonna do? They can't shoot down!
No, they cannot, and again, no Greater Spire earlier on. The Spire's actually taken out already, and this is an army that I think soO can now actually fight, now looking at it.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it could go either way, right? Like, again, there's so much dead supply in those Corruptors, but at the same time, soO, he still has his production. Like, 4 Ultralists are on the way. Like, soO's continuing to make more and more army.
Yeah, and he's the only one that's able to do that. And I've got a little bit worried for soO right now, because if you're looking at Hurricane's army, it really excels in choke points, and there's no way right now for soO to flank this army.
Oh god, he accidentally goes down the ramp!
Alright, that's a start. That is a start.
Oh yeah, like there are so many lurkers here. They're well out of range as well of the disruptors. So, and he can just shoot down the building with the Corruptors.
Shoot down the building with the Corruptors. We were questioning it, Light. We were questioning it. That is the last building. That is the last building. That is a probe that's out there on the map. And soO, he's just applying as much pressure as he can on this army, so these Corruptors can finish a job. I think we're about to see it. No GG this game. Hurricane was defeated. What did we just witness, Light? We just witnessed Light going up 2-0 on match point versus Hurricane in this best-of-5 semifinals.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my god, GG, well played, Hurricane. I mean, I love how he played that out, but at the same time, like, one carrier just had to go and deal with those Overseers, right? Like, the Niduses, they were just, oh my god, they were just relentless in the bases of Hurricane.
This was probably, if there were ever lectures being made about how to play StarCraft 2, I imagine this would be the 101 of late game ZvP, or at least, you know, the very classic version of it. I love that, and for both players, right? Because they both realize, soO, I can't fight that army, so I'm gonna try to go around it. Hurricane, soO's gonna keep trying to go around me, so I'm just gonna see if I can force a big engagement. His main army versus mine, and unfortunately, we see in the end, it worked out a lot better for soO.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand the thought process of Hurricane, like, okay, I'm just gonna go for the base trade. It's just there was so many bases to trade for soO, right? Like,
soO. 9 bases. I was actually about to make a bet with you, Light. Are we gonna see soO expand south of the wall? In the end, he didn't. But man,
Oh my god. Yeah, just it was like soO was ready for it. Like soO could have lost like another like 3 hatcheries and it would have been fine. Like yeah, it was just a really rough position for Hurricane and he was just forced, forced into that base trade scenario. Really well done by soO.
Really was, and now he's on match point on Pillars of Gold, which it's generally considered to be the Zerg favorite map, so this could be it. Everybody who's in chat, give Hurricane your energy if you do want to see a really nice series coming up from both our players, because I'm getting worried for him right now, man.
Yeah, definitely give him your energy, as here we are loading into game number 3.
And game number 3 it is. It's going to be on Pillars of Gold, LE, holding up the Golden Wall, LE, which is protecting the Eternal Empire, LE, of which the LE submarines are kept. Here we have it, light on match point. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the Red Zerg player. And the question that we've got is, are you free?
A Freakin' TV.
Streaming on a Freakin' TV, not right now I don't think, but at other points in the day, representing a Freak of Freaks, we have soO.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Golden Wall, Pillars of Gold, LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. He is currently teamless. He is Hurricane.
It's because that Golden Wall game, it's still in your mind.
It also doesn't help that in your intro you named off like 6 other maps. Like, god damn it.
I named off half of that amount.
God damn
actually,
it.
I named 4 maps in total, but yeah.
So we are in potentially the final game. Can Hurricane do something? Can he bring it back here in game number 3? I mean, honestly, I think he can, but yeah, we were talking about it, right? Pillars of Gold, it is a lot more open, and because of that, it does kind of favor the Zerg player. Like, you can get really nice engagements.
And I think another layer gets added onto that, because just looking at how soO has played the series out so far, these wide open areas are absolutely what he wants, absolutely what he's going to be looking for.
Exactly, like as a Protoss player especially, like you want those choke points, you want to utilize the map to your advantage in conjunction with force fields as well to try and take the best, most efficient engagements that you can with as little units as you can, and in a massive open map like Pillars of Gold, that can be difficult, but we've seen Protoss players do it before, we can see it again. We will see how Hurricane opens this up as, switching things up, no Stargate opener.
There we go, he's identified the main problem that went wrong with him those last 2 games. He tried to be a Zats boy, but he should instead have been getting a little zesty.
Exactly, yeah. F's in the chat if you wanted him to join Shield. It looks like he's more of a Hydra boy. He's going for that Zest-esque opener. We'll see if he goes for Glaives or if he goes for something a little bit different. You know, maybe potentially honestly, DTs.
Yeah, DTs would be really nice. Honestly, Light, I would love to see him go for +1 charge again. But this time as a bit of an all-in.
Oh yeah, definitely. And here we go. We were just mentioning it. Dark Shrine behind the Twilight Council. Yeah,
it is starting to get research now. And actually, I think this is pretty smart from Hurricane, honestly. We've seen how greedy soO can be, didn't we? And just how much he loves to cut corners. If he doesn't get spores, I'll have to quickly double check to see if soO doesn't know about the Dark Shrine yet. He loves to cut corners. I do not see him getting spores out.
The problem is, you're correct in that he does love to cut corners, but here, soO, he does have an Overlord outside his main base, outside the natural of Hurricane as well, so at any moment, one of these Overlords could dive in. Whether or not they will, though, is the big question.
I'm just sort of jerking my head to the right now, lad. I'm just kind of saying, soO, just a few hexes to the right. Come on, man.
just go in.
Just move.
Get in there. Yeah, especially the one in the natural, right? Like, if it decided to dive in, like, the DPS of the Stalker isn't high enough to stop it from scouting the Dark Shrine, but so far, no scout.
No scout, and soO, once again, Going for this Roach game, which, again, so long as he's prepared for the DTs, should work out for him really nicely on Pillars of Gold, but he still doesn't know about the Dark Shrine Light. He still doesn't know about the Dark Shrine.
The thing is, soO, he's preparing for Adepts because he saw the Twilight Council. So Roaches do make a lot of sense. And again, a Dark Shrine, it can be a follow-up, so he's actually is throwing down spores regardless. So really playing this safe. We've seen a couple of players even during the ANZ qualifiers. I don't know if you remember, there was a game that ended with Chappie quite quickly when when DTs showed up and he just didn't have.
Yeah, he just pieced out. I remember that. And yeah, thankfully this time soO did not neglect the spores in his natural base, and in fact he actually has it in a very nice position. So I think soO should just be fine.
He is perfectly fine. Like, he has this spore in position. He kills one of the DTs as well, disrupting the Archons that are going to be morphed. He's forcing Hurricane to morph in another DT if he wants 2 Archons. So yeah, really nicely done here so far by soO.
And now we just watch the Roach count tick up.
Yeah, now that he's defended, like, he can comfortably get more Roaches up. He can go for a big counter attack if he wants to. He doesn't necessarily have to go up to 4 bases. We'll see what he, whether he decides to expand or focus on his army.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a little bit of both right now, as it's not too decided what he can do. To be fair, in the position soO's in right now, he really does need more information on what the Protoss player is going for, doesn't he? He really needs to really understand what position Hurricane is in before he decides, am I gonna drone up or am I gonna go for my army? Now that he's kind of seen that that Hurricane is going for this expansion, though, he's going all the way into his Roaches. Galil Reconstitution is being researched, 8 more Roaches are out in the way, and this is a pretty exposed third, I gotta tell you, Light, for Hurricane.
It is a very exposed third, so potentially soO could be looking to try and deny that. Oh, nicely done. Hurricane is supply blocking soO for quite some time here, killing off a couple of Overlords. So this is great. This is exactly what Hurricane needs to do. He needs to try and stop. He needs to try and hinder whatever soO is going for. And he's scouting as well. He's spotting that soO is staying on 3 bases.
Yeah, and with this, he is actually buying himself a lot of time. That Forge gonna be finishing up pretty soon, and with that, he can just get a bunch of cannons to again help him buy even more time, maybe just to soak some damage from these Roaches.
Yeah, and we do see soO going for another base here. Hurricane, he should be able to spot it with his War Prism. So again, really nice scouting information. Oh, has to be careful not to get sniped out of the sky by all those queens.
Yeah, that's a big risk that Hurricane was taking, but thankfully was able to react in the last second there.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been disastrous if he lost this. Like, that's a very expensive War Prism right now. Oh boy. And you were talking about it. Here we go. Hurricane, he is transitioning into those charge lots.
There we have it. He knows that soO's going for Roach Ravager. A lot more gateways being thrown down right now. But soO, he's pushing out, and yeah, I think Hurricane is just off, just a little ways off from the defense that he would like, I would think.
Yaku, we saw this before. We saw this on Everdream. Charge is not quite done, or it's actually just finished up, but the production hasn't really kicked in, and soO, he's already here pushing into the third.
Yeah, this battery overcharge is definitely going to help. The Archons didn't manage to make it home, so this is going to help Hurricane a lot. But as we were saying, this wide open space, look at the concave right now for these Roaches. Exactly what the Zerg player wants, and exactly what the Protoss player wants to avoid. And yeah, unfortunately, it just kind of looks like Hurricane. He's getting kicked in a little. Yeah, with the Ling. Perfect 3-0.
Reinforcements that went with the Stokes 12.
Wow, soO with the 3-0 in that best of 5 series takes out Hurricane, and once again is gonna make it to the finals of ESL Open Cup Asia. I almost said feel right there.
Yeah, I was hearing that as well. Oh my god. Yeah, he goes all the way to the finals. Can he finally win his first one, or is he going to get another second place? We will find out, as we're going to be heading into our second semifinals. It will be another PvZ, Parting versus Ragnarok.
And it's very possible we get another ZvP after that.
Yeah, it's quite possible depending on who wins. Again, we were talking about this before. I'm so excited. It's the battle of the big brains right now. Parting for the Protoss, Ragnarok for the Zerg.
It very much so is. And Yeah, well, I'm gonna see how that plays out. I am so excited. Like, I cannot wait to see what they've got prepared.